Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. In this, it's not even a coffee break. It's early in the morning. Not really early, it's 8. But good morning. We're having Ecuador in the cup today. And I wanted to show you guys as we move along this process of rebranding what that is actually like. I think that would be good to put my thoughts down and for me to talk through what I'm thinking about right now, which is the next step, which is the mood board. The next step is to go through a few examples, put X's on things that I don't like, that don't speak to me, and put check marks on things that I do like and explain why. And so I have that here, and I had to do this twice because the first time, actually, I didn't save my work, which was retarded. I felt retarded. I was like, God damn it. Of all the things I could forget. And I wrote so much, so that I could really give my designer more insight into what I'm thinking. So I'm going to go over it now. And then I thought, if I have to do this over again, I might as well record it and share this process with you guys. That way, if you ever decide to go through it yourself, and I think it's interesting. And then on page 3, he says I have a select coat of arms from the Philippines. That'll be cool because I'm Filipino. We were talking about this in our call, in that being Filipino and being a woman was something I was like, I don't think I want to include that in my brand. And then when we had a conversation about it, he was like, well, why? Like, that's who you are. Why is there resistance there? And then I was like, I don't know. I think that's interesting. I think I should explore that. So while I'm not completely sold on like making the Philippines a part of this logo, I think it's definitely something for me to investigate as to why I feel that way. And it doesn't have to be a big deal, like why I don't feel, attached, in that way. Or I feel disattached. That's interesting too. So basically, he's just talking about, are you interested in untraditional shapes? And then contextual textures. So I want to show you guys what this is about. So here we go. This is the mood board that a designer should give you. And I've been through this a couple of times. And if they don't present their designs or their mood board, or like they're trying to get a hold of, just kind of get an idea of what you're feeling, and they don't lay it out in a very similar way to this, I think that's a red flag. So I think it's cool to go from like trying to hire somebody or trying to design something at a certain level, like at an entry level, and then we get into this level, which is I don't know if you would call this super high quality level. I certainly feel that it is. But if we talk about cost, I went for the middle package. So I feel all of these things, for me as an investor, as a business owner, these are things I think are important to talk about, which is like, all of the things are matching up in terms of him being a designer, presenting his ideas, presenting this mood board in the way that he just designed this mood board. I think that's important. And it gives me confidence, again, reaffirming my belief that this guy's going to do a really good job for us, And I think those are really important signs to pay attention to when you are investing in things, right? Get you guys maybe on the same page as me where I think I'm going. I'm definitely going to keep the name Black City Coffee, guys. I'll definitely keep that. So don't think I'm going to change the whole company. That'd be just basically launching a new company. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep the name Black City Coffee for sure. We're just talking about rebranding the look of the logo, maybe the look of the fonts that are going to be used. And the reason why you would want to do that is because, take Onyx Coffee Labs, for example. Okay, they definitely have a certain look and a certain vibe. They've got that like skull thing going on. It's definitely like in the hipster, cool, tattooed barista vibe, right? I don't know what you call that, but that's a vibe. And I definitely appreciate that as a look aesthetically. And so I wanted something like that. I wanted a font to define us, whether it was custom or not. I wanted the mark, which is this. This is what you would call like a mark. I think a logo and a mark, there is a difference, and I don't know that right now because I'm not a designer. But yeah, you would ideally want your fonts, your mark, your logo to all make sense and match up to your philosophy, you as a company, and all those things. Okay. So here he's trying to figure out what look, what font, what line thickness or thinness most matches and most represents what Black City Coffee is. And as we go through this, it's not going to be, it's typically, for somebody like me, it's not clear right now, right? We're trying to find it. We're trying to discover it. We have this huge idea. We have these ethereal ideas, and we're trying to shape these ideas down and distill them into a mark that could be represented for a very long time, right? And that makes sense. So for me, I went by and put X's on all the things I don't like, that don't feel good for what, all the things that I feel that Black City Coffee is. And again, based upon the conversation that we had as business owner and designer online last week. So as you can see, I put X's near things that look, I think, corporate, that look, I use the word spiky in here for lack of a better term. So these little spikes, because this is, you know, obviously we're going for a coat of arms vibe, right? So if we look at my old logo, it's definitely got a coat of arms vibe. The things I was trying to work with, and again, you know, when you do things on your own, I typically am doing them at the last minute. I literally designed this first iteration of the logo. Look how awful this is. In a day, in a couple of hours, honestly. And I was like, I just want to go. I just want to sell coffee. You know, I just want to test some ideas out. And so I put this together. This was super, I mean, for one, it's probably plagiarism. These are all clip arts from like Canva. You know, which I do pay the license for Canva. It's like $30 a month, right? But I found all these little bits on Canva, I think. And then later, when I found out see how fuzzy it is? It's not scalable. So I couldn't really blow this up and put it on boxes. And when I did, it looked really crappy. Because again, not a designer. I was just trying to move. I'm like a mover. So I came up with this, which was like, I tried to bring in the tigers once again, but I had to move to panthers because the panthers was the available clip art that I could get a hold of. But I really dug this sort of, see these thin and thickness stamp vibe going on here? Like I was getting that going here with this bit, with the ribbon and with the tiger or the panther as well. Oh wait, this is different. This is not the logo. Here it is. Okay, so this is the one that we have now, right? So I have the old English font here. I have the visibly modern font here. I think it's Bebas New. And then again, I kept with this old school kind of vibe for this, established 2018. Is this 18 or 19? 19. That's a 9. See? But you could see these lines where I just simply placed this over. Just so rudimentary. It's awful. It's awful. But when I shrink it down like this, you guys can't see. So you guys can't see, but you guys are seeing all the ugliness and all the like, you know, the rudimentary aspects of my business and my logo. And I want you to see that. I want you to see how freaking rudimentary I am. And I think it's good to like document the beginning. This is the beginning, you know? One day we're going to have a nice, well-designed logo, but this is where we came from. This is how it started, you know? Some people love it, you know? Some people like it. but you can see here, I was just skirting by, you know. Okay, so as you can see, we're going for this coat of arms kind of vibe, right? So in here, I definitely love this one. I like this one, but it's a little spiky, right? I like it, but less so because it's kind of spiky. And I was telling my designer Nathan, I was like, the spikes represent gates for me. You know, they remind me of those gates. Specifically, the image that pops into my mind is the 1980s movie Ouija board, and the woman that was scared off of a roof from the evil spirit from the Ouija board landed on one of these spikes. So that is forever in my mind, and I don't like these spikies. These like floor spikies here, floor spikies. They just say to me, keeping people out, and I want to welcome people with my logo. So that's why I really like this one, because it's all these rounded corners, very nice, very friendly. I remember I was so into design when I was when I was young. I was into drawing and graphics and all kinds of stuff like that. And I remember listening to animators, and I remember when Lilo and Stitch first came out. I think I was in high school, and I was really getting into animation. And they were saying, yeah, there are no straight edges. There are no straight edges. Everything is round because we wanted it to seem very friendly, very kid-friendly. I don't want to seem kid-friendly, but that friendly vibe, right? The rounded corners. The use of black, right? I love this one. Feels intricate. The thick lines. The use of black seems wholesome even. The rounded corners. The round square outline, symmetry, and font. Yeah, I really dig this one. It feels intricate and yet modern at the same time. It doesn't feel too old. This feels very regal, but I love it. You know, this says something to me. This reminds me of whiskey. And whiskey labels, which the Nika, if you're into whiskey or even Japanese whiskey specifically, is my number one favorite whiskey. Is Nika whiskey. It's the name of my dog as well. We named her Nika. They have this vibe going on. And I just really, really, really have always loved the look of coat of arms. What my designer pointed out to me is that coat of arms were regal and royal, but they were also the sign of colonization. And I was like, yeah. Colonization, slavery, taking over of lesser communities, lesser developed communities and cultures. And I was like, yeah, that sucks. I didn't think about that. I really thought about whiskey. I thought about the regal history behind whiskeys, and he was like, oh, okay. I can relax. He thought I was going for that sort of like colonization sort of vibe, or he was afraid that I could be going towards that way, but I'm really not. It feels mature, it feels refined, and at the same time still wanting to welcome people, right? Not wanting to feel too exclusive. But in a way it is very exclusive, you know, the things that I do. So yeah, a lot of balancing these ideas. As you can see, I kind of chose all the things that felt handmade. We want to go for that handmade vibe. Definitely don't want to go for something corporate. Now, corporate to me meaning everything that has an X next to it. Especially these. Like this feels very corporate. This feels very corporate. So these lines that are sort of abstract in their representation of this bull. It's like an abstract representation of the bull versus this one was more like a stamp, right? This one is even more defined. This feels more regal. This feels sharper as well too. So I do like it. But this one, I put like this one. I put love this one, right? Because you can like something, but you can love something as well. And so it's important to make those, I think, distinctions. I like the line work here. I like the shading and line work here too. This is too simple. This is like you gathered all your ideas, but it lays flat on the page. So it doesn't feel alive to me. It doesn't feel like, I'm sure real coat of arms did look like this. And I've seen it. but I'm definitely going for something more 3D, right? More defined. This feels like a car. This feels like definitely what it feels like. It feels just very graphic. Feels like corporate. Feels huge in terms of like a corporation, like the size of it. This, I just didn't like the spirals. It has a handmade seal, like a wax sealed sort of vibe, but I didn't like the spirals. They feel I just don't like spirals. I think they remind me of vines, which then remind me of flowers, which I'm not a big fan of flowers. Okay. So that's the first page, and that's the work, I think, and that's the intention that really needs to happen when you're talking and trying to figure out who you are as a brand. I think that's the most important part that we're talking about here. So I feel like since we know each other a little bit more, we've had a conversation, I can give him more shorthand notes. But if I didn't have that conversation, I would want to create notes that are really, really in depth. You know, I'm really not trying to waste time and be like, just trying to be very simple about things. So if you do hire a designer, or you do work with somebody, you want to be as thorough as possible, you know, and be able to communicate your ideas as clear as possible. The colonialism of this, though, is much stronger. And lastly, we have textures. So we have leather, velvet, gold leaf, chainmail, linen, iron. Yeah, I like them all. Lastly, for this video, he talked about colors. Now I wanted to put some thoughts down here too. So he's saying scarlet and lapis, ultramarine. Lapis is this. I'll show you. That's scarlet, right? Obviously. Lapis is this color. I mean, pretty. Not a fan. I don't ever remember at any time in my life incorporating blue into anything design-wise. Maybe when I was very, very young. Red, on the other hand, was my color of choice for years. But I associate red with passion. I also associate it with anger. Red is also a very visceral color. It's life. It's blood, right? Designer Nathan says it's royalty, regal, powerful. Red is the first color humans see. My idea was gold, right? I'm still very attached to this gold thing. Gold still seems to me very regal. And I don't know if I'm open to it. But I don't know what I don't know. So it will be interesting to make note of this and be like, on my first intuition, I feel like it's no. My first natural response is no, I don't like these colors for the logo. Not that I don't like them. But I'm open to what his thinking is and whether or not he can provide, you know, a design that I would like. So I'm open to it. But I want to tell him my gut feeling is no. Because I wanted black and white, and with an accent of gold. And if I'm thinking I'm going to design everything around these colors, I'm thinking it's too loud for me. Especially this. I mean, I may get around to this, but this, I don't know. Maybe this color and gold. Because, you know, as this Rolex is displaying, it's beautiful. In terms of a logo, I don't know. I really am. I'm on the side of no. But I want to give him a chance to work through his thoughts, which I will respond exactly like that in the email. So, yeah. So that is what's going on. That is, I guess, update number 3 in terms of the design process. I hope you find it interesting and helpful, because I think, especially if you're entry level or you're making your own you're making your own and you're starting with zero, right? Maybe you're going to design your own. These are the types of things one could think about to help guide where they want to go in terms of design. And then how design plays into or holds hands with the actual product, the philosophy, the founder, all these things, and how they play and work together, which that's what I'm discovering. And so I'm not telling you like this is how it is and this is a playbook. I'm just sharing with you what I'm going through. I think it's super interesting. I hope you found it interesting. Anyway, we make this slightly coffee related. I mean, it's coffee related. We're talking about what kind of logo and mark would represent Black City Coffee for years to come. You know, that's the weight of a logo. I mean, you could always buy again, but that means if you're always redesigning, it means there's something, to me, it means there's something wrong in the foundation of your identity. So we're really trying to nail that down, you know. I have a pretty good idea of who we are as a coffee company. It's going to change and evolve, but the base of it is just, you know, helping people, I think, discover their best selves with coffee. I'm working on it. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of the day. And I'm going to respond back to his email now with all of these thoughts and try to put them into a nice, coherent email for him. All right. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.